Hey everybody, it is Phineas. Welcome back to the Frugalfinneas channel. Alright, so it's spring. It's not only decluttering season, it is start a garden season. And starting a garden can be super expensive. Like you guys saw mine in the beginning there. I started mine last fall. I didn't grow anything then, but I started buying the stuff little by little. I surrounded it in landscape bricks, and that got expensive, but you don't have to do all that kind of stuff. But it can get expensive. But we can also do it cheap. With the price of everything going up, still, including food, and my water bill just went up too. Every bill I had has risen in the last 6 months. Every single bill, and it's not done yet. I just got a letter from my city hall or whatever. They reassessed my property, so I got to pay more property taxes. Yeah, gee, really? It doesn't end. Anyway, back to the video. All right, so today we're going to talk about 10 ways to start a garden on a budget, because you can do it cheaply. And I'll pepper in some videos to show you how to do some of the stuff, some TikTok videos. And so number one, you start with seeds, not seedlings. Seeds. And Dollar Tree has seeds. Look at this. 4 packs for $1.25. Now, I don't know how good they are. We're going to find out. But you can't beat that, because Lowe's and Walmart have garden seeds, but they're like $2.99 and up. These were 4 for $1.25. So I'm curious to see how these things would do. So, but you can buy seedlings. It's better to buy seedlings, but they're just too expensive. So I bought 4 seedlings, and I bought a ton of pack of seeds. So I do have 4 seedlings. They start out like this high. They're like 6 something each. I got a couple peppers, a couple tomatoes. So you probably saw them in the garden. Like one's already dead almost. One got eaten by something. So there's $6 gone. That's why it's better to start from seeds, budget wise. Check out this video.
3 things I wish I knew about seed starting before getting started that would have saved me so much time and money. The first one is keeping my seedlings too far away from the grow light. This can cause weak and leggy seedlings because they are stretching to reach for the light. To prevent this, I like to keep my lights now 2 to 3 inches above the top of the leaves at all times. The next one is watering from above. When you do this, it can be really abrupt and push your seeds deeper into the soil or move them around. It can also lead to overwatering. Instead, I now water from the bottom, which is a lot gentler on my seeds, and they're able to soak up any water that they need, and I can just dump out any excess water. And lastly, using a fan to blow over my seedlings. This helps mimic wind and strengthen your seedlings, so when they're ready to go outside, they won't just snap on you and die when it's windy. And if you do happen to overwater your seedlings, this will help dry out the soil. Follow these tips to be more successful in your seed starting journey this year.
That's good information. Now, I didn't know about the fan thing. Like, do the plants think that it's outside because the fan? I don't know. Is that true? All right. Number 2, use kitchen scraps to regrow plants. Like green onions. You can buy a green onion from Walmart, and you can plant that. Potatoes, garlic. You could plant that from just stuff you're buying from Walmart to eat yourself. Check this video out.
Have you seen those viral videos of people regrowing food from grocery store scraps? Well, I'm going to show you which foods are worth it and which ones definitely aren't. Carrots, not worth it. Green onions, so worth it and so easy. Avocados, not worth it. Garlic, definitely worth it. Lemons, not worth it. Sweet potatoes, worth it. Celery, possible, but probably not worth it. Lettuce, not worth it. Ginger, definitely worth it, but pretty difficult. Beets, not worth it. And potatoes, so worth it and the best one to grow from the grocery store. If you want to know a better way to grow all these, check the caption.
So that was good information. She showed you the stuff that's worth doing that way and the stuff that's not worth doing that way. I think potatoes will be fun. Potatoes, I'm told, is kind of easy to do. Just buy a potato, Google how to do it, and then here I'm gonna put a potato video in right here. Hold on.
Let's talk about what to do when your potatoes look like this. Now, each one of these sprouts is called an eye, and each one of these eyes will grow about 10 potatoes. You just want to chop each one of those eyes individually, leaving a little bit of the potato intact so it can feed off of it. Check it out, that's like 50 potatoes right there. Now you can put these in the ground, but I'm putting these in a 5-gallon bucket. You really only want to add 3 to 5 of these per 5-gallon bucket. This is actually a 3.5-gallon bucket, and I'm probably putting too many in, but it's fine. So I'm going to evenly space these out. You want to plant them eye to the sky, like so. And once you have your potatoes planted, just cover those in a couple inches of soil. And potatoes are a cold weather crop, so planting these right now in February and leaving them outside where they're going to get about 6 hours of sunlight is perfectly fine. It'll take about 60 to 90 days to be able to harvest. So check back for an update in about a month and follow me for more content like this.
See, how cool is that? So you can literally go to Walmart and just buy potatoes and then come home and grow your own potatoes. I'm going to try that. All right, number 3. DIY planters from household items. Examples: the Cool Whip containers, egg cartons. You can start little seeds in egg cartons. Milk jugs, buckets. I use the Lowe's buckets. Lowe's buckets got expensive. They're almost $5 now. But drill some holes at the bottom, and you saw in the beginning of my video, I got like 6 or 7 Lowe's buckets. I'm gonna grow stuff in. Old drawers and solo cups. Now, solo cups are about $5 now. They got expensive, but I see them at garage sales now and again. Not now. I'll pick them up. I never had a reason to buy them before, but check out this video about planting in solo cups.
I like to grow peppers in solo cups because this is big enough to house them for the entire 3-month growing time. That way I don't waste my time potting up. I like to sow 2 seeds per solo cup. If you have good seed, at least one of these will germinate. If both of them germinate, to be honest, I just leave them and I plant both of them together in my garden. You could sow seeds in something smaller like a 72 cell seed tray, but just know they will need to be potted up before they get root bound. If they get root bound, this will stunt their growth and it will take more time for them to grow to transplant size. So if you don't want to worry about that, just sow the seeds in something bigger to begin with, like this solo cup. And I use these solo cups to grow lots of bigger sized crops, not just peppers. I use it to grow loofah, moringa, tomatoes, everything like that gets pretty big by the time it's ready to transplant. So again, I don't have to waste my time potting up.
I think that's a great inexpensive way to start your seeds and seedlings. Number 4, ways to have a cheap garden on a budget. Compost for free fertilizer. Now, fertilizer is very expensive. A lot of it has chemicals and stuff. But I just used eggshells yesterday. I had eggshells and I had banana peels because I had banana bread. And I know it's weird, but so I had these raised flower beds you saw at the beginning of the video. And I just mushed it all together and threw it in the dirt and just hoed it over. And now in that dirt is and leaves. I put leaves at the very bottom of all my raised flower beds. But yeah, that's free fertilizer we just have around the house. Saves money on buying fertilizer, which again is another expense. Number 5, get free plants from cutlings. So you can cut off when your plants start growing. You can cut off and regrow some of the plants, like basil, tomatoes, succulents. Those are good ones to do that with. Number 6, use recycled materials for raised flower beds, like pallets, cinder blocks, reclaimed wood, fence slats, all that kind of stuff. Check out this video.
Here's how my husband and I made these raised garden beds for less than $30 each. Here's also a list of the materials so y'all can screenshot that if you need. First, I drew a line because we wanted to cut off the dog ear part of these fence pickets, and then my husband just sawed all of those off. Next, I measured how high 2 boards would be because that's going to be the height of the garden bed, and it was about 11 inches. So now we're going to make these marks on our supports because we are going to need 6 supports per bed. I proceeded to draw lines on all of the supports. Then my husband again just sawed on all of those lines. I then set aside 12 of the long planks because those are going to be the long sides of the garden bed, and then I had 6 more that we are going to cut in half. So I measured how long one of the planks is and then drew a line on each of them so my husband knew where to cut. That left us with 18 supports, 12 long cedar boards, and 12 half-length boards. Next, we worked on the sides of our garden beds. They are going to be 2 boards high and then have a support on each end and then one in the middle. We used about 2 to 3 screws for each support, just depending on how it felt. If it needs more than that, you can use more screws, but we found that 2 to 3 was sufficient. Here are a couple close-up shots so you can see better where we screwed in the screws. We were making 3 garden beds, so we needed 6 sides. We kind of used these little half boards to estimate where the middle support needed to go, but you can honestly just eyeball it. After you complete all of the long sides, we're going to work on the short sides. So we used our shorter boards and we did the same thing. We screwed these into the support. We used 2 to 3 screws per support. Again, if you need more, you can use more, but we just didn't find that we needed more than 3. Just keep doing that until you have completed all of the garden beds, and then you are completely done. I am so happy with how these turned out. I have a full video up on my YouTube with exactly how we did this in detail. Make sure to follow for more garden content, and happy gardening.
That's a great, inexpensive way, and I think kind of simple, that a lot of us can do to make raised flower beds. I thought they looked great too. Alright, number 7, rainwater collection. Now, like I said, my water bill just jumped up. So this will save you on water. You can go to Marketplace on Facebook, even Craigslist is still around. You can get food grade 55-gallon barrels, the plastic ones. And what I did, I cut them in half. You can use those for raised flower beds, or you can use it to make a rain barrel. Here's a quick video how to make a rain barrel. It's pretty cool.
This is how you make a rain barrel for your garden. And we're going to start with prepping for it by removing the lower part of our gutters. We're actually doing it this way. That way we don't have to buy any extra diverter kit for our water collection system. After you got the lower part of your gutter detached from your house, it's time to set up a few center blocks. That way you can get your rain barrel off the ground. Then place whatever you're going to use for a barrel on top of those center blocks to measure how high up you need to cut the rest of your gutters off. Don't be afraid to do this, because all you're going to do next is actually attach the rest of it to the house and then reattach that lower elbow that you took off at the very beginning. Now that you got everything set up for your rain barrel, it's time to double check and make sure that you didn't do it too low. If everything lined up perfect, it's time to flip over your rain barrel and drill your hole about 3 inches from the bottom. Now if you're wondering what the measurement is of the faucet, it's actually a 1/2 inch. And on the back of the faucet, you need to make sure you have a rubber washer to make sure it doesn't leak. Now go ahead and take off the top of your rain barrel and cut off about a 6 inch by 6 inch hole. Put some mesh over the top of it if you live near any trees. Now all you got to do is place your rain barrel back on top of the center blocks and then wait for some rain.
And that really works. I don't have one at this house, but I had a rain barrel at my last house, and I used it a lot. We just had a hell of a rainstorm the last 2 days. I got a bunch of water. Number 8, make your own pest repellents. When you have a garden, you get the critters. And see, I'm not looking to hurt squirrels and birds because I actually feed them in my yard. I like squirrels and birds. So I do have owls. I have 2 owls. And one makes noise and stuff. I don't think it does much. But because I'm trying to keep, I don't want to hurt the squirrels. I'm not looking to poison anything. But for like the pests, the slugs and stuff, for slugs you can use the Epsom salt. I learned that when I did a video, 10 ways to use Epsom salt, and it says it keeps slugs out of your garden. But you can use soapy water, Epsom salt, neem oil, garlic spray. Here's another way to do it.
I'm going to teach you how to make an organic pesticide for your garden that's safe to put on all of your vegetables and all of your plants. I don't want people buying insecticides or pesticides from the store anymore. They're terrible for you. They soak into the ground. They get into your water supply. They're carcinogens. They're just bad. We can do all this organically. And if you want to know how to do that, watch my videos. All you need to make this is vegetable oil, some hand soap, some mild liquid soap. I wouldn't recommend using dish soap though. And a spray bottle and mixing bowl. And you're also going to need 32 ounces of water. The first step is in your bowl. You're going to mix 1 cup of vegetable oil. Next, you're going to do 1 tablespoon of liquid soap. And I'm not going to measure it directly, but we'll say 3 squirts is 1 tablespoon. Now you're going to take this little mixture that you just made and do not spray that directly on your plants. You have to dilute it with 32 ounces of water, so pour all the water in the bowl. Give that a good mix. Now you're going to pour that into a spray bottle. And I'm using this little funnel. You can do it however way you want to. Now you've got yourself an organic pesticide. This is perfectly safe to spray on all of your vegetables in your garden. Here's our garden. You can spray it directly on the leaves. You can even spray it on your little fruits, on the strawberries, and it's not going to harm them. This is organic. There's nothing in it. There's no carcinogens, but it's going to get rid of the insects that are eating your garden. Let me know how it works for you.
His way was organic, and it was simple to make and stuff you probably have around the house. It's better than, for some reason, I know our foods are full of chemicals, but I prefer organic if we're going to make our own to keep the pests away, and that seemed safe. and pretty easy to do. All right, number 9, shop the sales end of season. Start your garden early or the year before. Like I said, I started my garden not growing stuff, but obtaining the materials last fall and during the winter. Like I'd go to Walmart and Lowe's, and I'd buy. Every time I went to Lowe's, I'd buy 10 more blocks, or I'd buy 10 bags of soil, or 5 bags of mulch. Right? I did it little by little, piecemeal. So if you start small this year, but if you want to go big next year, start slowly buying the stuff little by little, instead of having like $1,000 right off the bat. You can do it little by little, like a layaway. Number 10, join a community garden or plant exchange on social media groups. There you can barter stuff. If one person has tomatoes and you grow potatoes, y'all can trade. There's probably a bunch of tips on there. I think that's a good way to learn. I'm still learning all this stuff, and I'm going to do that. All right. Now here's number 11. This is the bonus one. This person made a very cool planter. It's built up way. So if you live in an apartment and you don't have a lot of room, this would be good. They used Dollar Tree pots. They used Lazy Susan from Amazon, but you can get them anywhere. And but check this out. I think this is very cool.
Let's build the viral Dollar Tree planter tower, but with a twist. So I'm going to take these little square blocks that I got from Home Depot. These were $1.88, and I'm shoving little pieces of spare wood that you can get there for literally free. That way it's level and balanced. And then I'm going to take these dollar store planters, and they're so easy to just whack with a hammer and a screwdriver and pop the little drainage holes out of them. I did not pop drainage holes in the middle just because I'm not actually planting anything in the middle. And then I bought these Lazy Susan turntables off of Amazon. They work so stinking easy to twist these, and they fit perfectly. I'm going to link these in my Amazon storefront because highly, highly recommend. And then here is my little plants, and they're ready.
How cool is that thing? I think I really do want to try to make that. I like that. And I think it's simple enough because, like I said, I'm not very handy. But I think that's cool. All right. So, start small. Use what you have. Only grow what you like. It's the same with prepping, right? When you prep, you're only supposed to stock up items you actually like. A friend of mine in Florida just told me she threw a whole bunch of canned goods away. I said, well, how come? Well, because I'm not going to eat them and they expired. I was like, well, how come you should? Why don't you buy food that you like? She said, because this is on sale. But you don't like it. So she wasted a ton of canned food because she didn't stock up on stuff she'll actually eat. I only stock up on things I actually like. Only grow stuff you'll actually eat. Like I like peppers, green peppers, jalapenos. I like some tomatoes. I'm not a big veggie guy. I'm trying to get into veggies more. But like I'm not going to grow okra because I don't like okra. I'm not going to grow cauliflower because I won't eat it. I want to grow just what I'll like and what I'll use. All right, I hope that helped you guys. Start small. You can start cheap. I'm gonna do the best I can this year. I don't have a lot of faith growing from seeds, but I planted a bunch of green peppers in one of those raised flower beds out there, and I see 2 sprouts. That's very exciting, 2 sprouts. And I have 4 seedlings, you can see. But I don't have a ton of faith in my first year doing it, but we'll see. And I think I really will build that Dollar Tree thing that I just showed you. If I do, I'll let you know how it goes. Tell me what you guys think. If you have any tips you can add to this, let me know. Now I have a video I'm going to put right here. Bentley, he's a boxer I watch. I watch him 3 days a week for years and years and years. Funny dog, funny boxer. She's attacking one of my hoes. So enjoy that video. It's only 30 seconds long, but it's kind of funny. She's a cute dog. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And I'll see you guys in the comments.
Oh.